Alright, y'all, what's good? Quick trade recap video today. I ended up making $7 profit today. Took two trades, got stopped out. I actually didn't get stopped out. Um, I got out both of the trades early. Let's just show you right here. So I had that one day, $500, and then today, $7 profit. I mean, profit is profit, right? But I already know what I'm gonna title this video and be like, how I lost $1,000 today. But okay. So they're both shorts. Pretty sure if you guys traded today, you know. I don't know why my stuff is going, but whatever. Okay. I'm pretty sure you know what the trade was. No buys today off the daily time frame. Again, didn't know if we wanted to go up to this volume imbalance in here and take these highs out, or vice versa, this one here and take these lows. So I kind of went down to the lower time frames, kind of found out my bias into these ones. Started trading this 4-hour gap. I'm pretty sure it's on the 1 hour as well. I think we did close it on the 1 hour. I don't think we did, actually. Let's see what time this was. 10 o'clock. Okay. So this was the one I saw in the morning. I saw that we kind of bodies just barely respecting the fair value gap in there. I saw we had these volume imbalances in here, this fair value gap in here as well as this order block in here. So that was kind of, not these fair value gaps, these are kind of my initial targets to aim for before we go up to take these equal highs up here. And this will be nice when we get one of these days. Hopefully it can be tomorrow, but it's a big move, so we got to get lucky and hope that happens. But then here, same thing. I got the gap in here. This was my main target for the day, just to hit this gap and then kind of continue up. So we'll make that one orange for you. So yeah, prices like these, I kind of noticed that. I'm pretty sure everybody that trades notices these gaps. Price loves to come in, at least tag these gaps, right? We might have to come and take the rest of the range in here, right? The new week opening gap. But for now, I just wanted to see it hit it for the day, which is what we did, so that was nice. Would correct with the bias. And then same thing. We have fair value gaps, order block in here, right? This massive order block in here as well. So that could have been another target. And then I think this was the SMT. I know we had an SMT on the hourly. Kind of also confirmed my bias of the day. I don't remember where exactly it was. I think it was this one right here. Yeah, it was this one. Or was it? It was. Okay. So we took this high NQ. And then in the morning, no, it wasn't that one. It was that one, right? I don't remember. I know we had an SMT in here somewhere before market. Let's see. Let me mark out this so I can find that SMT for you guys. It was on my chart earlier, but it's gone now. So we're trading here. And then that was the 9 o'clock candle. Let's see. 10 o'clock. Took this high. Had to be one of these. Okay, well, I know we had an SMT on here. I'm very confused why I can't see it. But we had the SMT as well, so that was kind of telling me why it's going to go down. Let me go down to the 15-minute. Mark out this to kind of get the times for the London session. And kind of get the morning, if there's a fake out in the afternoon, or the London session and stuff like that. So notice here I had marked out this low on my chart for sell side. I had marked out this low on my chart for sell side. Those were the only ones I marked for sell side, just because I was aware that we had this gap in here as well. I didn't want to see it trade into here, so those two were sufficient enough. Buy side, I just had the higher ones, but you guys know where those were. And then going down to the 5 minute. See if we can notice anything in here. And then I went down to the 1 minute. So we'll kind of start with what trade I took. It's on the 1 minute. First trade I took that I got out early was in this fair value gap. I put it at around the 25 to 50% level. Put it around in between both of them. So my first entry was in here. I hope this is a short position. No, it's a long position. Okay. So my first entry was in here. It was at this candle. My TP was at the high. I only did 3 contracts, so it wasn't too much of a risk. That was about $200. I'm pretty sure it was. And then my original TP was at that new week opening gap. So this is what the trade would have looked like. I'll tell you why I took that trade. So hourly, we did have the SMT. Looking in here, we did have this fair value gap in here. This didn't close it quite yet, but this fair value gap, I wanted it to close with this candle here. Let's see if I can zoom in more for you. So I want to see it close within this candle here, but it ended up being the one a little later in the day. Then going down to the 15 minute. Alright, so that was the buys with the 1 hour. We had the SMT, that little fair value gap I wanted to close. And then we did have this thing in here, but the confluences for me to take the trade were the SMT. We had this liquidity sweep from the previous days, right? Because we got to go way left on our chart to notice those. And then in here we had this 15-minute gap, very tiny 15-minute gap. Saw we closed it. We did have this market structure shift in here as well on the 15-minute, which is nice. We'll mark this one to be red, so that kind of told me more that we're gonna go down, right? We had this candle in here and just come up, tag it before we kept resuming down. So that was what we saw in the 15-minute, and then we go down to the 5-minute. It's kind of where the magic was happening today. So I can close these in here. So we had this 5-minute fair value gap that I noticed. I'll just put 15. We can take away the 1. Okay. So I noticed we had this 5-minute, right? After the hourly SMT, the closure, and the market structure shift on the 15-minute time frame. We did have SMTs on the 15-minute as well. Just got to zoom way out of my chart for that one. And then I noticed we had this 5-minute FVG with this market structure shift on the 5-minute here, and here, which is really nice. It's a lot more confirmation. So I marked out the 5-minute fair value gap. I was looking to see if we would retrace back into that gap. I went down to the 1 minute. And then, as you can see, the fair value gap that I entered on, right? 5-minute fair value gap. It was a huge fair value gap. So I didn't want to put my entry like I normally would at the beginning. I wanted to put it up to allow for lesser of a stop loss. And then what else? Oh yeah, first presented fair value gap of the day. So normally those are very strong and important. So I was like, okay, well, it's gonna come back down, right? I knew we weren't gonna come down right away from these candles. I was hoping that we would come and rebalance this fair value gap. And then we did have an order block on the 5-minute as well with this one here. And then we did have it on the 15-minute as well, which we did hit on the 15-minute. And then, no, why not again? Okay. So that would have been the first entry of the day. TP would have been in here. I got out just because I noticed that we closed above the 50% level of the fair value gap with the bodies of the candles. So that was worrying me. And I also noticed that we had the order blocks on the 5-minute and the 15-minute, which the 15-minute we did hit, the 5-minute we didn't hit. So Now I'm looking back at it, I should not have gone out of a trade. It was actually a really good setup. I'm pretty sure you're making a bullish SMT as well, but on the hourly, but I might be mistaken on that. But this would have held into here. This would have been about 800 profit, I'm pretty sure it was. And then this is about 2 to 300 stop loss in here on the high. So that was the first trade of the day. I'll just move this one over. It's about right there. Second trade of the day, I wanted it to come back into this fair value gap in here. If we go down to the 15 minute, we notice 5 minute fair value gap in here, which we did hit later in the day, but only to come back down to these lows. 15 minute, we didn't have much within there, right? We were going to make a fair value gap, but we didn't, so we'll go back down to the 5 minute. So 5 minute, second fair value gap into here, so we can delete those. So second 5 minute fair value gap in here, which I wanted it to tag. We go down to the 1 minute. And then we can see in here, this is the same fair value gap that we have on the 5 minute. So I wanted it to come up and tag this fair value gap, right? Just came back to rebalance in here. So I wasn't too worried about it going up. I put a limit sell in here. We didn't end up tagging me in, which is no big deal, right? If we miss a trade, it's okay. Second trade I did do though, I don't think there was anything on the 5 minute, but we were on the 1 minute. It keeps resetting my chart. Okay. On the 1 minute, just move this down. I can erase it, make a new one. I noticed we had this fair value gap in here on the 1 minute. So for this one, it wasn't it's still risky just because we don't have any higher time frame, fair value gaps in the 5 minute, 15 minute. But we did have the kind of bias that we were going to go down and tag this new week opening gap in here. So I had put a limit in here for 2. I got entered in 50% level of the gap. I put my stop loss up here just to allow for the risk, just in case we did come to tag this 5 minute. And then I put my TP here right at the beginning of the new week opening gap. This is about $300, $250 TP. This is about $200 stop loss, so a little more than 1-to-1. Not bad. It was just my trade setup, so like I said a couple days ago, I tend to just take my setup. If the risk to reward is greater than 1-to-1, great, but if it's anything less, I won't take the trade. So I try to stick to 1-to-1, but anything 2 and 1 is preferred. But we had this fair value gap in here, came back, tagged it. I thought we closed it, so I thought, or we inversed it with this candle here. So I thought we were gonna come and tag this one, but it turns out we came just straight back down. I exited about break even, so literally right on the line, just because we inversed this gap. We were kind of having these price moves like this, so I was nervous that we were gonna go up, tag me in here, and then go down. I didn't want my stop loss to end up being like, an insane amount, 600, just because I get filled in here, and then the average order price is at 720, whatever the fill price is. So I got out at break even. If I would have held here, I would have made, let's say, like 250. This one here, 800. That would have been 1100 on the day. So I essentially lost 1100 because I guess I was scared of the trade, and that's kind of the lesson I learned today, to kind of just trust my trades, because we had the SMT on the hourly, right, for this first one. First was enter fair value gap on the 5 minute. Market structure shift on the higher time frames, right? We had so many confirmations that we were going to go down, so this would have been a really nice trade in here. I would have been up here maybe down $100 at most before we came to tag this, so that would have been nice. But I guess that's a lesson I can learn, and hopefully you guys can learn from me as well, because it sucks on those days when you get out of your trades early and then you lose it all just because of that. But no big deal. We're still up $7 on the day. I mean, we're not negative, so we're not aiding into that drawdown that we have. But other than that, it wasn't a bad trading day. Still correct on the bias, and the trade we were still correct on as well. So that's nice to just know that we were right. So, but yeah, other than that, if this helped you guys learn anything, please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and see you guys tomorrow. Peace.